All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and it has been, I think, at least 4 years since I've had a watch on from EMG Watches. I'm really excited to have this one. This was part of a Kickstarter campaign over the last few months, and beautiful watch. This came to me by way of Watches Galore. He did a review of this watch and sent it out on a watch tour. It will be going to Chris Marshall at Marshall Time next. So I'll leave links to both of their channels down below. Now, I did look. This is the EMG Horizon. This is the version 2 of that, and there's been some pretty significant upgrades since the last time I looked at an EMG Horizon, like I said, about 4 years ago. And the biggest difference is the inclusion now of a mechanical hand-winding chronograph movement, which I think is a spectacular addition. The original model that I looked at had a Seiko, I do believe, Mecha Quartz movement in it, but it was still this absolutely awesome 70s style, retro style, what we'll call racing chronograph. I mean, if you go back to the Hoyer Monaco and all those really cool watches out there that were being built back in the 1970s with this race theme on them, the EMG folks over there, the three owners, have done a really good job of mimicking that real good 70s feel for these watches. I love the way this one is set up, the dial. There are 4 colorways total. This is the brown colorway, comes on this cool orange hornween leather strap, so absolutely gorgeous strap. 22 millimeters at the case, tapering down to 16 is going to make it fit really nice. Now, sapphire crystal is being used on this watch, and I want to go ahead and fire up the caliper to get some case dimensions on this. So side to side on the case, you have 36, and end to end you have, or excuse me, 38. It's 38 by 38. You do have a little extension because there are actually lugs on this watch. We'll take it out to about 46.7, I do believe, is what I've got there, what I'm showing. Thickness on the watch to the domed sapphire crystals, 13.6. And then, like I said, I think we are running 22 millimeter lug openings. So very cool setup. So it's going to wear on the wrist perfectly like a 38 millimeter watch. Now, stick around to the end and we will do a wrist shot as well as a loom shot. This has applied indices on it, as you guys can see here, with BGW9 being used. Now, I am getting a lot of reflection because this is a domed sapphire crystal. That's kind of the way it works. I don't know if there's a prototype watch or a full production model, but very well put together. Recessed subdials here with a matte finish on them. You have your 60-minute counter, or excuse me, 30-minute counter here at the 3 o'clock position. You're running seconds over here at the 9 o'clock. Go ahead and get that mechanical chronograph running there. Clean sweep of that second hand being provided by the Seagull ST1901. That's a 19 joule hand winding mechanical chronograph movement, and really at a price point where this watch is, and I do believe it's around $425, it's about the best movement you can get as far as having a mechanical chronograph without really jumping up into the $1,000 mark once you get into your Unitas-based movements and stuff. Flipping the watch over, you can see the beauty of that chronograph movement there, skipping along. And as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead real quickly here and stop it so you can see the action of that. Boom, we stopped that thing, and let's go ahead and reset it. And there we go. Pretty cool the way that works, and you can see that all moving around in there. The 19 jewels are displayed in there. You can see 2 of them here on top, 3, 1 over there, and then go ahead and count out the rest if you guys can find them. The heat blued screws really add to the look of that movement. Looks really good. 4 screws holding the case back on, 100 meters of water resistance, as you guys can see, the EMG Horizon 2 and with the Seagull ST1901. Quick release spring bars being used here for the strap if you do decide to change it, and you have the EMG logo there on the buckle. So let's go ahead and pause it for a second, get this watch on my 7-inch wrist, and then be sure to stick around for that loom shot. Okay, so like I said before, I do have a 7-inch wrist, and as you guys can see on my wrist, this fits really, really nicely. Even with the 47 almost lug to lug, that 38 by 38 really wears perfectly and sets really, really nicely on the wrist. The more and more I put on a 38 millimeter watch, whether it be a round watch or a square watch like this, a 70s style chronograph, the more I really, really love that that size, that 38 millimeter size. So great looking timepiece. Let's go ahead and get some sunlight on this and see what it looks like in the dark. All right, there we go. Put it out in the sun for about 30 seconds, show you the BGW9. It glows really well and it looks good on the watch, but let's get this one back under the studio lights. All right, so there you guys have it. A beautiful piece, and at the price of $425, I think it's really hard to go wrong with this. 100 meters of water resistance on a chronograph watch is awesome. Obviously, do not operate your pushers while Underwater, that's a big no-no, as you can break that seal a little bit. But really killer watch. I want to thank Scott at Watches Galore for getting this one on the channel. And be sure, I'll leave a link to his video for this watch, and then it's going over to Marshall Time next. So check out those links below in the description. All right, you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.